How early were you exposed to the gang life? Do
12,
you remember?
12, yeah.
Is that like when you just became aware that it existed, or like they actually were trying to pull you in?
Oh no, I always knew it. I always knew it existed. In the projects, like you always knew it existed because you know what, a lot of and the way you get exposed in different ways. But the way that I first got exposed to gang life, and I never talk about because people never ask me this question, is that someone wanted me to hold a gun for them. They got into some stuff, and they would, I guess police were chasing. I was really young, so I don't remember. But they said, "Hold this. I'll get it from you later," and it was a gun. And
like
so,
on just coming up to you on the street.
Yeah. Well, it's not really on the street, but in my projects.
Got it.
And of course, even you're young, you know, we're outside, right? We're in front of the building all the time. We know who the people are. Young kids know what's going on. They know. And so I just held it and came back and got it later. But that was like the first kind of being exposed to it. And yeah, man, it was just crazy. So that was one side of me. And then the other side of me was sports. So sports numbed me to the abuse that was going on at home. Like my father was a narcissistic abuser who physically abused me and my mom. My mom more than me. My mom got beat up all the time. And
how young were you when you first saw that?
Oh my God, this I probably don't even remember. I mean, my mom's been getting beaten up since I was like 1 because my mom and my dad divorced probably when I was 1 because I don't remember my mom.
He was beating her after they divorced.
No. That's my stepfather. That's my stepfather. So my mom and dad divorced maybe when I was, I don't know, 1 because I don't remember. I don't have no recollection of my mom and dad together. There's no memory whatsoever. So that means that it had to be early. So what's the earliest age that you probably can't remember anything, right? I think at 3, you can kind of remember something at 3. I don't remember. I don't even have any memory of them together at all. Right. So my mom remarried this crazy narcissistic abuser, and he's been beating her up since I was a kid. Like I grew up watching this all the time, and so that was so the second side was the sports.
Well, actually, let's stay on that for a minute.
Yeah.
That's some heavy shit. I mean, obviously you have a decent feeling at a young age to like, oh, this is not good. This is not right that this is happening. It's not like you're like, oh, this is normal. But like, were you angry at him? Did you want to take it out on him? Were you?
Yeah, it's so I remember maybe at 6 years old, at 6 or 7 years old, I was thinking of ways that I could kill my stepfather. Like, and 6-year-old, you can't do nothing. Right. But I was always a smart kid. And I remember one day I climbed up on the chair, and my stepfather took capsules, like some medicine, and they were in capsules. And you know, in the project, sometimes we get a lot of rodents or roaches, and the way we used to kill roaches is with boric acid. So you take the boric acid powder and you sprinkle it along the corners of the floor. The roaches walk on the boric acid, and their legs melt, like it burns their legs, and then they die. And so I was always trying to think, how could I take this boric acid and put it into this capsule? These are things that I thought about as a 6-year-old kid.
6-year-old.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So I would look at it. I wouldn't know how to do it. Like I never attempted to do it because I knew the boric acid was dangerous. So technically I really didn't want to touch it. But I would look at it and I would just think like, how could I get this in here without myself getting hurt? Yeah. And those are things I thought about as a kid. Like I always, even you know, from watching cartoons, right? You watch cartoons, you see the crazy thing. They take the sock and they put it into the muffler. Or movies, they put in the muffler. You know that trick? So the carbon.
No, I don't. I'm trying to picture it.
Oh, you don't know about that?
No.
Yeah.
I might, but like I'm trying to picture what you're saying. I can't get it.
So they take a cloth or sock or whatever, and they push into the muffler so that the carbon dioxide is going to come out and it goes in. So I was thinking about stuff like that as a kid. Like maybe if I just put a whole bunch of stuff into his muffler, right? Maybe the carbon dioxide. And at the time, I didn't know it was carbon dioxide, but I knew that if you put something in there, something else wouldn't come out and you'd probably pass out and die.
Right.
So like those are the things that I thought about all the time as a kid. Like, how could I stop my stepfather from beating up my mom?
Did you ever talk to your mom about it, like as a young kid?
Actually, no. We never had we never had a real conversation. That never. It was either. So what would happen is, they would argue. My mom was very, kind of fight back person. Then that would cause him to get more angry. Then he would beat her up, like physically. And then she would be crying or bloody. And then as a kid, you want to hug your mom. So I would go and hug my mom, And then what would happen is they would go upstairs, make up, have sex, and then guess what? I'd be punished. Yeah, exactly. How does that work?
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah, so I would be punished. And that was my stepfather controlling the situation. So my stepfather, he was illiterate. He couldn't read and he couldn't write. Really, he couldn't read, couldn't write.
Yeah.
But he was a master carpenter. He could build anything, you name it, he could build it. And that's how he got by. And that was a kind of a tactic to control. He had the idea, he used to always say, I'm the king of this castle, right? And that was a tactic to let me know as a young kid that he was the king. That even if I beat up your mom, you can't do anything.
I'll beat the shit out of you.
Yes. And if you try to help her, you'll just be punished.
What would happen when he would beat the shit out of you, though? Would your mom step in? Or?
No. She would just hug me, or maybe they argue a little bit, and then she get beat up. I talk about this a lot. He systematically tried to break us down. And what I mean by that is that usually a parent may say some things that they don't mean when they're angry. Like, oh, you're a stupid kid, or you're going to be a failure, or you'll never amount to anything, right? And that's usually out of anger, right? I don't think most parents in a calm way, when you're happy, will try to put you down or tell you you're a failure. He would do something, his typical thing of what he would do would be something like this. Let's say I had a great day at school, right? I come home, I'm happy, right? And I'm happy. Yeah. And then he might say, well, how was your day at school? Oh, my day at school was great. He goes, well, it doesn't matter because you're going to be a failure all your life anyway, right? And as a kid, this is systematically trying to break me down and trying to make me believe that this is true, right? Because he didn't want any of us to be higher than him.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. Please hit that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.